Yeah, obviously it's not the way you want it to end, and really the only way you want it to end is to be the champion. So unfortunate. We played, as hard as we could. We just didn't play fundamentally sound baseball today, and that's a frustrating thing as a coach and an instructor of baseball. It got really ugly at the end there, and I take the blame for that. I have to have the team better prepared, but it doesn't mean we didn't have a great season. And these kids played it till the end. They did everything they could. So I'm really proud of them. I'm proud of their families for putting up with me as their surrogate father for this season, and nothing but good things for the Wildcats in the future.
We'll open up to questions for the student athletes.
Mark Garland, College Baseball Central. Garen and Tommy, can you guys just tell us a little bit about this run that you guys made at the end of the season here, and then just what it's meant to be a Wildcat here, being as you guys are the seniors?
I'd say it's meant everything to Tommy and I and some of the other guys that probably won't ever play a baseball game again. But it was probably the last month being on the road. I think we've been home for 24 hours to 36 hours, but I wouldn't change it for the world. That's probably the most fun I've ever had playing baseball this last month. So I'm super grateful for it. And obviously, like, my time as a Wildcat, I think I had the second most at-bats in school history behind this guy over here. There's probably no other school I'd want to have played for, and I'm super thankful to the staff for keeping me that long. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I'm just thankful for everyone, all the coaches and staff and everyone that's, got me here, but especially Chip. We wouldn't be here without him. It was just, a few things today, but just say, as a whole, I'm just really thankful to be a Wildcat, and I wouldn't change a thing.
Brian Peterson, AZ Desert Storm. Smith, this fourth straight kind of elimination or championship game that you've been involved in, how did it feel out there? And you seem to work out of traffic a lot. What were you doing to keep yourself poised?
It felt the same as every other outing, just because I do everything the same. I just tried to execute my pitches and keep my composure with any hits or anything that happened that didn't go our way.
Javier Morales, All Sports Tucson. Smith, being a freshman here at the College World Series, what can you take from this experience, especially the way you performed?
I'm just going to take from this experience to be a leader for our team next year and try to bring us back next year and hopefully get a little bit of a different result.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. Smith, this was not the first time you faced Louisville this season. Opening weekend, 4 innings, 5 strikeouts, no walks, no runs. Can you describe kind of, seeing that lineup again? Did you notice any adjustments they may have made against you? But once again, you had a very successful outing.
I think they're just a great hitting team. I think throughout the season they've adjusted and just improved throughout the season. I think I had a little bit of an advantage just because I kind of knew what some of the kids could and couldn't hit, but I could definitely tell that some kids just kind of fought a little bit more, fouled some balls off, hit some grounders. Just a great hitting team, and I had a little bit more confidence coming into this outing, just knowing that the first game was a little bit successful. So I think that was pretty good.
Noah Darling, College Baseball Central. Smith, as the other Noah in the room just pointed out, strong freshman season from really the jump in February. What does that, number one, say about you, that you were able to have such a strong year right away, and also the health of this program?
I think it's great. I think it's like kind of something that everyone can look at, recruits can maybe look at and see that Vance and John and all the coaches have done a great job with development. Beginning of the season, or before the season started, wasn't the best. And then John and Vance did a great job of just helping me improve throughout the season and getting to where I am today.
For either Garen or Tommy, some of the mistakes that happened in the 8th were from Mason and Tony, who had been so big for you guys all year. What kind of things did you say to them after the game or maybe after that inning just to deal with that?
Yeah, I think it was the same message all year with this group. It's just like some stuff spirals, and we put guys like Tony in tough spots, and then it's just you could feel the momentum right there when the bases were loaded and everything. But what I told him, I told Mason, just keep your head up. You're going to get another one. I don't even think – I think that I saw the ground ball that led off the inning, and it was low the whole time and kicked up right at him. And sometimes that happens. And I told him just take a deep breath and try to stay in this one because he's going to get another one.
Lori Burkhart, All Sports Tucson. Garen and Tommy, what are you going to say to, what can you say to the younger players? This is a great experience, but you guys have been here for a long time and have worked here as seniors. What advice are you going to give those younger players?
I'll just say keep going. I mean, all those guys have done a terrific job, and especially Bailey. I mean, just, stick with it. And, the, I guess, mistakes and challenges that you make, you really do learn from. And, Darren and I being here for 4 years, that's been a big reason why we got here today, and Chip. So, just, keep going.
I would say like guys like Smith and I would say Bray Fogel and Kane. It's going to be a good core group of guys that have a lot of experience in the postseason. And, I would just tell them to keep the focus on the team and not get caught up in, their own personal stats or whatever is going on, because, the best teams play together and love one another like we did this year.
Smith, Tommy, Garen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll now open it up to questions for Coach.
Chip, a lot of runners left on base. You had a couple guys that were also gunned down on the bases. There was the play. Was Maddox? Was that the call for him to run on that?
No.
Or?
No,
Okay.
the ball's in front of him. He knows, if he can make it or not. He just made a bad decision. We just did a lot of things, that were uncharacteristic of us at the, during this run. People ask all the time, well, how, you were struggling a little bit early in the middle of the year, and we played a lot like this. We made a lot of base running mistakes. We didn't execute, on bunt plays. Twice they bunted the ball. We didn't get an out. A rundown. There were so many things. So it just slowly slipped away. You could see it slipping away. Unfortunately, you're doing everything you can to try to keep the guys positive and keep them with it. But you could see at certain points that there were guys who were starting to, get with their own disappointments, let that kind of cloud what was going on in the game. So, yeah, we're very, and once the tide turned, that's where Louisville takes advantage of you. They're really good with the bunting. They're really good with the base running. They put a lot of pressure on you. So while we were ahead, we kept them at bay. But you got to give them credit. Once they got the chance, they saw the opening like we did during the other games during the playoffs. They really took advantage of it. So you got to give them credit.
Mark Allen, College Baseball Central. Coach, obviously not the result you guys were looking for today, but what do you take forward with this really special team that you had here and just the tremendous run you guys made the last third of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I just said it to the club. I hope they can take, what they learned in this run. Sometimes, losing, not making it to where you want to get to, these things are going to happen. We have guys in there that are going to play in World Series in the future, and they're going to lose World Series. How are you going to handle it? We have guys who aren't going to play another game of baseball, and they're going to have families. They're going to be in business. How are they going to use? They might be struggling. How are they going to, make it so their family's better, their business is better? And I hope they learn from that. But it was a great group. They fought. We've said it many times. I've said it to the media many times. We felt like when we broke, we started in August that this team could be in Omaha. And so I'm not surprised we got here. It was a funky way we got here. We didn't play great at times. We had a lot of learning to do. And we overperformed and underperformed in spots we didn't think we would. But now this is the beauty of college baseball. We get to go back and, the guys who are going to leave, they're going to leave. They're going to get drafted. And now we're going to get a new team and have some fun doing it. And we're going to learn from how we played today. And we're not going to, we're going to do our best. I'm going to do my best as a head coach not to let that happen.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. Coach, you mentioned the term uncharacteristic in an answer there. Your stopper of the year, Tony Pluta.
Yeah.
Last weekend, 64 pitches. It was the most he had in a single weekend this season. This weekend in the College World Series, just a little uncharacteristic. Yeah. First at bat today, bloop single in the right field.
Right.
You go out, pitching coach goes out there for a mound meeting. Can you offer us a little bit of insight? There's a guy warming up in the bullpen pretty early, too.
Yeah, I think Kevin just wanted to settle him down and let everybody know, hey, how we're going to play this with the bases loaded, or, it was uncharacteristic. We're using that word a lot, aren't we? And you know what? Maybe the 60-some pitches last weekend, it's tough on a body. It's a lot of pitches for him. So he definitely was not as sharp as he has been. I mean, I know those are some blue pits and all that, but he gets a lot more swing and miss than that. So, hey, it's college baseball. It's a sport, and the ball bounces funky ways. So we have to live with it. We got some great breaks along the way, too.
Hey, Chip, in '85 as a player, you lost the
Yep.
2 games here, and then the next year you won the World Series. Anything you can take from that, from like what Jerry Kindle had in that situation, that maybe you can take forward?
Yeah, I like that. I like the way that went. Obviously, we didn't like '85. It was tough. Kind of the same deal. We lost a really close game, and then we didn't play very well against Stanford. So, yeah, let's get back here and see if we can repeat what we did in '86 in 2026. But it's so hard to get here, and I just, there's 7 teams left now, and I wish them all luck, man. They're great teams, and we're sorry that we're not going to be playing anymore, but it's baseball.
That'll conclude our press conference.
Thank you, guys.
Coach,
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you joining us.